fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fella. Hi-yo, Silver! Aye!
When Lem Ordway, the last in a succession of marshals, was killed, the notorious border town of Ransom was left without a law officer. There were still a few decent citizens in Ransom, and the leader of these was Jim Wayne, young editor of the Ransom Bugle. Jim Wayne wrote a letter and addressed it to a mission 3 days' journey from the town of Ransom. In the letter, he enclosed a silver bullet and a note, both of which a masked man had given to his father before the old man died.
Oh, Silver, oh, boy.
What's down, old fella, eh?
By rare coincidence, the Lone Ranger and Tonto made their periodic visit to the mission on the day Jim Wayne's letter was delivered. The masked man read the letter and explained to Tonto.
And in my note to old Tom Wayne, I told him if he or his friends ever needed our help to get in touch with us here.
And now, son need help, huh?
Yes, Tonto, but not for himself. Help for the town of Ransom, where he runs a newspaper.
Me hear Ransom become real bad town.
Yes, and according to Jim Wayne, it's getting worse. That's why we're going there now. Come on, Silver!
Come up, Scout.
Late in the afternoon, on the day the Lone Ranger and Tonto neared Ransom, the weekly edition of Jim Wayne's newspaper came off the press. The front page editorial, printed in bold-faced type, caused a sensation.
Hey, did you see the bugle? See it? Man, I could hear it. The way them words sizzled. Imagine him coming right out against Yank Collins, Lash Phillips, Cozy Johnson, and the rest of them hombres. It's murder.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Lash Phillips walked to the rear of the cafe toward Yank Collins' office. A short, bewhiskered, and bloodshot-eyed man sat at a table near the door. He lurched to his feet as Lash stopped.
Hi there, Mr. Lash. What do you say?
Get out of my way, Shorty.
Sure. But first, Mr. Lash, what do you say let me have 2 bits?
Get out of my way, I said.
You didn't have to push me over like that.
Next time I'll knock you down.
Hitting an old man like me. Good thing.
Yes, sir.
Me, Yank, Lash.
That's just a second. Hi, Lash. We were just talking about you.
Hi, Ray, Cozy.
Lash?
You guys hear about the same thing? That stuff young Wayne wrote in that paper of his?
Yeah.
He sure said a lot of nasty things, didn't he, Lash?
Yeah, he sure did, especially about you, Yank. What are you going to do, have him killed?
No.
What?
Now, wait a minute. Listen to me. Nobody can stop a good citizen like you, Cozy, or you, Lash, from taking steps against a man who tells lies about him.
What? You mean...
I mean, you can ask for an apology from Wayne if you think he ought to get one. And if he refuses to give it,
Oh, he'll refuse, all right.
then when he does, you should do what any wronged citizen would do. Horsewhip him or gun whip him.
Say, I'd like to do that.
Me too, and I'm gonna.
Spoken like real indignant pillars of the community.
Pillars of the community. Oh, that's a laugh.
No, it's not, Ray. It's serious. That's the way you and the rest of us should act.
Huh? Yank, you mean that, don't you?
Sure
Yank's
I do.
right.
Lash, you always say I'm conservative. New England pinch pennies, the way you put it.
Oh, only kidding, of course, Yank.
But I'm only playing smart when I do things the way I do. We gambled when we came to this town, and we won. Ransom's our own little place now to do what we want. Yeah, let me show you these books of mine. The ones I use to keep a record of everything.
You look like a bookkeeper.
That's because I am one. You guys ought to be glad I am. Listen to this. 2 years ago, when we first came here and did nothing but hold up jobs and the like, we made only $9,000 in 3 months.
Yeah, I take that much in on the gambling tables in 1 week now.
Sure you do. And out here, gambling's a respectable way to make a living. Let's start to act respectable for a change.
All right, Yank. I'm enough of a pillar right now to want a gun whip, Jim Wayne.
Then do it. But do it later when it's dark. Right now, let's check on the figures in these books.
At that moment, an Indian emerged from the 3-room building that housed the Ransom Bugle. Tonto, having visited Jim Wayne and told of the Lone Ranger's arrival, started back for the camp where the masked man waited.
Get him up, Scout! Kimasabi, him say him wait in office for you tonight. We'll leave rear door open so you go in, not be seen.
Good.
Door lead into back room. Him say you knock on door to office when you come in. Then him leave office, go back and talk to you.
He takes great precautions. Which he should, I think, after printing this editorial I just read.
It's plenty strong, huh, Kimasabi?
It's the most scathing editorial I've ever read.
Ah. When crooks read that, then do something to Wayne, sure.
Yes, I think they'll try. Tonto, something tells me we'll have to remain very close to Jim Wayne every minute we're in Ransom.
Ah. It get dark soon.
Yes. Perhaps we better get our horses ready and leave for town.
Darkness had fallen, and in Yank Collins' cafe, the meeting between Collins and his 3 partners came to an end. As they emerged from the office and walked into the cafe, Shorty Harlan, who had been slumped in a chair to the right of the door, jumped to his feet.
Gentlemen, if you let me have 2 bits...
Are you still here?
Listen, Shorty. How many times do I have to tell you to keep out of my place?
Well, I only come in because
Shorty,
I...
get out or I'll throw you out. If you're not out of here in 5 seconds...
Don't hit me, Yank. I'm going. Never
You
seen
boys better get going. You've a job to do.
Yeah, sure, Yank. Come on, Lash. I'm right in the mood to use my gun real hard when you and I go to Jim Wayne's place.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue. In his office at the Ransom Bugle, Jim Wayne sat at his desk writing and waiting for the masked man who had come in response to his letter and who would put in his appearance soon. He looked up as the front door opened.
Hello, Mr. Wayne.
Huh?
Hello.
Oh, hello, Shorty.
Hey, just threw me out of Yank Collins' place. That's what they did to me. They're going to come here and do you in. They're going to come here and do you in.
Huh? What do you mean, do me in? Whom are you talking about?
Those cheap ones. Those bad ones. Yank Collins and Mr. Lash and the others.
Now, Shorty, what is this? Think straight now. Tell me about the bad ones. What did they say?
Well, Yank...
Now, wait. Maybe you better not stay here with me in this room. Someone might look through the window from outside and see us. Come on along.
Where are we going, Mr. Wayne?
Into this room. No, we can't go there. I'm expecting... Shorty, over this way. Let's go in the press room.
Yeah, I like the smell of that stuff you use to clean the machines. It smells mighty tasty.
Go right inside, Shorty. We'll talk in here.
All right, Mr. Wayne.
At that moment, Lash Phillips, Cozy Johnson, and Ray Douglas reached the Ransom Bugle building. Lash, who had been looking through the window before entering, returned to the others.
I don't know what to make of it. Wayne's just left his desk and gone back into another room with that goofy guy Shorty.
Good.
But Cozy, what about Shorty?
Who cares about him? He's probably trying to get 2 bits from Wayne. We'll give him $1 and send him on his way. Let's get inside. We'll see you in a while, Ray.
Right.
Hey, listen, Cozy. They're in there.
Quiet. I want to hear what they say.
Yeah, Yank Collins gonna do you in.
Lash. That dirty, sneaking horn toad.
Wayne?
No, Shorty, he's talking about us. He was listening this afternoon. What? Not so loud. Listen to them. I'm going to put out this light so nobody will even think of coming in. We have more than gun whipping to do, Lash.
Meanwhile, the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode up behind the building and left their horses in a grove of trees. From the alley beside the building, a ray of light shone through the window of a room at the front. They entered through the rear door, which was unlocked as Jim Wayne had promised. As they quietly crossed the room, the light in the front room was suddenly extinguished.
He must have heard us. We put the light out.
Him not want anyone to see us.
To be sure, though, we'll open the door quietly and make certain that's what the situation is.
Lash and Cozy, both with their ears tight against the press room door, heard all they cared to hear.
Get out your gun and let's push in there. All right, Wayne, you no good coyote. Stand right where you are.
It's the bad ones.
Bad ones, are we? Shorty, you sneaking, spying, soft-brained lout.
No,
Before I kill you, I'm going to give you the gun whipping of your life.
You keep your hands off him, Johnson. If you don't,
If I
I'll...
don't, what? Get back.
Cozy, he's my meat. You take Shorty. Wayne, we came here to gun whip you, and that's what we're going to do. Before we kill you and this sneak Shorty.
I don't think you'll do that.
Of course, a masked man and Injun.
Drop those guns, you two.
Are you crazy? Drill him, Cozy. Oh, my arm! My arm!
I'm shot. My wrist busted.
We told you to drop those guns. Otto, take their guns from the floor, bandage them, and tie them up.
Kimasabi, me do it.
You, sir. I don't know how to thank you. I'm Jim Wayne.
I realize that. Evidently, we arrived not a minute too soon.
Hey, somebody's coming from the office.
Lash, you fools. Didn't Yank warn you not to shoot? Hey, what's this?
I'll take that gun, mister.
No, you don't. No.
I'll take his gun.
Do that, Jim.
My arm, you're breaking it.
I have his gun.
Just to quiet you for a while, mister.
Oh, wow, what a shock. Never seen the like of it.
Ray, the fool. He had to come in here instead of getting help.
Don't worry. He can't hold us long.
You keep still. He finished bandage.
I'll tie this fellow, Ray. Jim, while I'm doing this, you tell me what happened.
While the Lone Ranger bound Ray Douglas and placed him beside Lash and Cozy, who were bandaged and also tied, Jim Wayne told of the revelations made to him by Shorty. Shorty, his eyes popping above his tobacco-stained whiskers, added a closing line to Wayne's story.
And it's all there in a book in Yank's office, just like I said. Mr. Masked Man, this isn't just something I dreamed up.
I believe you, Shorty.
So do I. Lash and Cozy confirmed his story when they broke in here.
Then let's get the final confirmation. The kind that'll stand up in a court of law.
Court of law? That's a laugh. There isn't a court or a law officer in this town. And like I said, you'll never hold on to us anyway.
No? Tonto, gag those three. And make certain those ropes are tied extra strong.
You do it.
Oh, that's treating them the way they ought to be treated.
Jim, get to the telegraph office. Send a message to Fort Randolph. Tell them it's an emergency and ask them to send troops here. And ask if they'll hold a special sitting of a territorial court in Ransom.
Golly, listen to that man spout.
Meanwhile, I have a plan which I'll try to carry out in the quickest time possible. Shorty, I'll need your help.
But me help you? That's a good one. But what do you want me to do? You just tell me.
Leaving the three crooks tied up and gagged in the press room, the Lone Ranger, Tonto, Jim, and Shorty locked the door to that room and went into the darkened office. Jim Wayne left for the telegraph office a few minutes later. Then the Lone Ranger and Shorty conferred and left the building by the rear door. Tonto went with them. Yank Collins in his office heard the signaled knock used by his pals and went to open the door, expecting to see them return from their thrashing of Jim Wayne. The man who stepped inside was Shorty, acting nervously but directly.
Yank, close the door fast and lock it.
Say what is it?
Close the door, Yank. Lash and Cozy are shot.
Hey, what?
That's better now. Lock it. Yank, the jig's up for them and Ray. If you don't believe me, open up that door that leads out behind the place. Oh, wait, I'll do it. I'll open the door.
Hey, you crazy maniac. What are you doing? Keep away from the door.
Yank, I only wanted to let this man in.
What? A masked man.
Too late, Yank.
No. Oh, I never seen anything like that one. That was harder than the other.
I couldn't waste time. Shorty, lock that door. Keep it locked until Tonto returns from the general store with the ropes he went for.
I'll keep it locked, mister. I sure will.
I'll turn this room upside down until I find the books you heard them talk about. Start with this desk drawer. Tonto, I'm glad you returned. I want you to see this. Look, item after item. Receipts from Wells Fargo holdup April 26, $19,000. Expenses, 20 men at $50 per man, $1,000.
Oh, you even give names of men who get $50 per part and hold up.
Here's another itemized account of a stagecoach robbery and some rustling done in May.
This put them in jail for a long time.
It'll send them all to jail, Tonto. You have the ropes ready?
Me buy all rope them have in store.
Good. Shorty, come over here and look at these names.
Yep.
Now, tell me, how many of these men are here in town?
Let me see. Oh, out of this bunch on this page, all of them are in town, I reckon.
Oh. Except
maybe 2 or 3. Some of them are outside right now.
Then please go out and do what we planned.
I sure will.
Shorty, you say I'm wanted in Yank's over?
Yep, you and Pete. Come on.
Don't look surprised, mister. Just raise your hand and keep quiet. That's it. Tonto, tie them and gag them.
Hey, what is this?
A little get-together. You, raise your hands. Now, place them in front of you. Tonto, use the ropes.
Here's 3 more, mister. I got this hombres over at the Cozy Cafe.
Move another inch toward that door and I shoot.
I'm not moving.
Good. Put your hands out in front of you. Tonto, take care of these men.
Then I'll go out and tell some more that Yank's here waiting for 'em.
The next morning, when the militia arrived in Ransom, their leader was surprised to see the streets empty except for 2 men. The younger man introduced himself as Jim Wayne and his friend as Shorty.
The rest of the decent folks are in Yank Collins' cafe holding prisoners and records for you.
We expected to see riots and fighting. The telegram said it was an emergency.
Yeah, it was. But the emergency's passed. When the crooks we're holding are sent to jail, and they're sure to be, we have enough people here to form the nucleus of a new and finer town.
Even I'm going to lay off the bottle. Because after what I saw last night, Red Eye can't show me anything new. Mister, one man's responsible for all the hombres you'll see tied up inside.
Huh? Who's that, Wayne? You?
No. The man who rode away with his Indian friend when he saw you soldiers coming to take over here. You'll know who he is when I tell you they call him the Lone Ranger.
This is a feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated, created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Charles D. Livingston, and edited by Fran Stryker. The part of the Lone Ranger is played by Brace Beamer.